The phone vibrated on the marble counter while the room applauded. 25 years married, silver balloons, a cake tall enough to cast a shadow. My wife leaned into the microphone, champagne on her breath, eyes bright with a practiced warmth. She raised her glass and laughed at something I didn't hear. I was watching the screen light up beside the cake, a message preview, a name I didn't recognize, a heart where punctuation should be. I didn't touch the phone. Applause rolled like weather. Someone called my name. I smiled because smiling is a reflex you can train. The vibration stopped. The silence after was louder. She kissed my cheek for the cameras, a public kiss, soft, familiar, empty. Her hand lingered on my arm a second too long, like she was anchoring herself to something stable. I tasted metal. Later in the kitchen, a call came through while she laughed with guests. The caller ID flashed again. Same name. My daughter-in-law's voice followed soon after, sharp and bored, shouting over clatter and running water. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes," I replied. "Enjoy." I hung up before she could fill the space with contempt. That night, alone, I opened the phone, scrolled. The messages were not hidden. They never are when people think they're smarter than you. I didn't feel rage yet. I felt inventory being taken. Infidelity doesn't arrive as a scream. It arrives as math, times, dates, gaps, years hid between emojis and hotel confirmations, business trips that overlapped mine by hours, dinners with clients that ended near addresses I knew too well. A double life laid out with the arrogance of routine. I sat on the edge of the bed and listened to her breathe. 25 years of shared oxygen. She turned in her sleep and murmured my name, the way you murmur a word you've used too often to mean anything. I told myself there must be an explanation, that denial is a solvent. It dissolves sharp edges if you let it. But the details kept aligning. Receipts matched dates, photos matched places, excuses matched lies. I remembered the jokes she'd made about loyalty at parties, the way she mocked devotion like it was a naive hobby, how she once said, laughing, that love needs room to breathe. I had given her an entire life. I thought of our anniversary toast, her eyes finding the room, not me, the way she thanked me for stability, not love. Stability is what you stand on while you jump. I didn't confront her. I slept, or pretended to. Calm is an art. You don't rush a masterpiece. I became careful. Careful is invisible. I requested phone records under the guise of consolidating accounts. I checked calendars she forgot to delete. I learned the cadence of her lies, the pause before a city name, the extra detail when she was improvising. I hired no one. I trusted data. Data doesn't care about your feelings. I watched. I waited. I let her underestimate me. At dinner, I asked gentle questions I already knew the answers to. I nodded. I smiled. I played the husband she thought she'd already buried. Inside, a storm learned how to count. When the DNA report arrived, routine, clinical, I read it twice. Not for disbelief, for precision. I wanted to know exactly where the fault lines ran. The house felt different after that, smaller, like a set. She mocked me publicly again a week later at a family gathering, a joke about my predictability, laughter. I smiled. I always smiled. That night I booked a villa in Switzerland, quiet, glass and stone, snow like a held breath. I sent the photos to a small group chat by accident, or so it would seem. The next morning, my phone rang, then rang again. By noon, 71 missed calls. I waited until evening. She came home frantic, eyes red, voice breaking before words formed. I handed her the folder. No speeches, no accusations. Paper does the talking when you let it. She flipped through pages like they might rearrange themselves. "What is this?" she whispered. "The truth," I said. My voice surprised me, flat, unmoved. She cried, then begged, then blamed. The sequence was textbook. When she asked how long I'd known, I told her the date, the exact date, the moment when the math resolved itself. She collapsed into a chair like gravity had remembered her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't touch her. I asked one question I already knew the answer to. Did you ever plan to stop? Silence is an answer when it arrives on time. Revenge isn't volume, it's placement. I transferred assets quietly, legal, clean. I canceled joint access with the tenderness of a surgeon. I forwarded invitations she'd never attend. I let her family see the photos of the villa she would never step inside. When my daughter-in-law called again, suddenly polite, suddenly curious, I let the call ring. Then I sent one image: snow, glass, a table set for one. The calls multiplied. The tone changed. I didn't gloat. I didn't explain. I let them understand in pieces. At the final meeting, I slid the keys across the table, not to the house, to nothing she could keep. I stood. She reached for my sleeve. I stepped back. Control is a distance you maintain. Switzerland was quiet. I woke early. I drank coffee slowly. I watched the snow erase footprints as if the ground preferred amnesia. I thought about love the way you think about a language you once spoke fluently. Useful, dangerous, optional. There was no joy in her ruin, only balance. I didn't hate her. Hate requires investment. I had already divested. When the last message arrived, unread, I turned the phone face down, glass against stone. Some people mistake calm for weakness. I closed the door gently and left them with their